Namaste, my friends. Welcome to Bhakti Yoga Conference. This is a beautiful gathering here at Harvard Divinity School, and it's really an opportunity to bring together more than 40 prominent voices in the Bhakti community. We've got musicians, yogis, scholars, monks, men, women, people from India, people from all walks of life and different ages as well. My name is Happy Jack. I'm the founder of Happy Jack Yoga University and a student here, Master of Divinity student at Harvard Divinity School. And really, the intention, our hope is that you can walk away from this conference with, some ideas, some inspiration in how to cultivate grace in an age of distraction. If you have questions, put them in the chat, share it, save them for the end. We'll definitely do a Q&A session. We've got 1,600 yogis who have enrolled now, officially registered. Of course, a smaller number who join live in Zoom, but so many of you who are here. And super excited to introduce our speaker today. I'm going to bring her on spotlight as I read a little intro. Such an honor. So this is Kishori Gopi. She is formerly known as Kelly Skinner, a spiritual teacher who is a conduit of divine love and a vehicle for divine grace to heal and awaken. In this lifetime, her medicine is to help beings live radiantly and die gracefully through the practices of Bhakti Yoga, meditation, Reiki, and end-of-life doula work. She approaches both life and work with awareness, aliveness, and compassion. To her, there's nothing more rewarding than seeing another being remember and fall in love with their own true nature. As a Bhakti yogi, teacher, and devotee, an integral aspect of her practice is chanting and leading Kirtan in her community in Burlington, Vermont. She describes Kirtan as group prayer and a call out together for divinity to manifest in the heart. Kishori teaches weekly yoga asana classes in Vermont, leads international yoga retreats, and offers free kirtans with her kirtan band, Kishori and the Cartels. I love that. She also runs her own business in which she offers both group and one-on-one programs for deepening your spiritual practice, energetic healing, navigating grief, loss, death, and getting clear on your dharma. Through her teaching, she hopes to share the transformational effects of a practice rooted in bhakti, divine love, and devotion. As an end-of-life doula, she supports those who are actively dying, those who are supporting someone who is preparing for death, and those who desire to prepare for their own death, which is, by the way, coming for all of us at a time unknown. She works with people who are looking for support around their grief and moving through and managing loss. In addition to being an end-of-life doula, she offers support to those grieving the loss of a loved one, losses of jobs, relationships, and sense of identity and self. And after reading your bio, I need to upgrade my bio. That's such a damn good bio. I'm really impressed, and it's true. We've been together on retreat a few times now at Super Soul Farm in upstate New York. We were just recently together at the Govardhan Eco Village in India. Kishori, your nickname is the Bright Light of Vermont. For those who don't know you yet, soon you're gonna know why. But we're so honored to have you here with us today. The title of your session is Reawakening to Divine Love, the Pillars of Spiritual Healing. My friends, if you're ready to get started with Kishori Gopi, throw your arms in the air and loudly chant, Haribol!
Haribol! Wow, what an introduction, my goddess. It's so strange to hear my own bio being read aloud, and I'm deeply grateful and honored and really, really, really humbled to be here with you all and to have the opportunity to share what has greatly transformed and impacted my own life, all thanks to my incredible teachers. And to be a part of a conference like this is really special, to be amongst such amazing teachers like Rukmini Devi, who's on the call here now, and her son Gauravani, and my spiritual master Radhanath Swami is on this list, and Raghunath and Kastuba. So although I don't feel qualified to be here, I am very grateful. to be here in this opportunity to serve you each in some small way. And yes, so today we're going to talk about, we're going to explore reawakening to divine love. And what I have found in my own personal life, in my own personal journey, these four main pillars of spiritual growth and healing. And what I have found is that having a spiritual practice in your own connection to the God of your understanding is essential, is the foundation, is the springboard for all the other facets of healing and growth and expansion that we can have in our lives. And healing comes in many forms and many facets. And I believe that it's supportive in our spiritual practice to also have space for silence, for stillness, for introspection, and to receive support in our process and in our practice. And I've had the great fortune to receive such support along the way. So before we start talking about these four pillars, I'd love to start with a kirtan, a little embodiment meditation to ground and arrive here together from whatever amazing thing you were just doing, whatever you have to come, and to join our voices in group prayer. So does that sound okay to start? Okay, thank you. All right, so please come into a comfortable seat and my harmonium here. Please silence your devices, silence your phone, close your email, whatever you need to do so that you can remain as present as possible for this remainder of time, because this is actually the most important thing for you to be doing right now. Why? Because you chose to do it. So trust your choice, and let's dive in here together. So again, please come into a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. You might be sitting in a chair, on the couch, right? If that's so, scoot to the edge of your chair, plant your feet so you're not slouching, but rather you're rooting into both sitting bones, lengthening through your spine, lifting through the crown of your head. Perhaps closing your eyes or softening your gaze. No one's going to be watching you. And as you come into this conscious, this intentional seat, there's a quality of alertness. There's a quality of attention, a quality of intention. And I invite you to also soften into this shape that you've chosen. So soften the features of your face. Unhinge your jaw. Ha. Soften your tongue and your mouth. Perhaps swallow, soften your throat. Draw your shoulder blades towards your spine and then shimmy your shoulders down your back away from your ears. Create a lift between your collarbones, a brightness in your chest. Then soften your belly, let your breath move in and out with ease. Soften around your outer hips. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, sipping the breath in, feel your belly expand, ribs widen, fill. And open your mouth, exhale with a soft sigh, let the breath escape. Once more like that, inhale through your nose, sipping the breath in all the way down into your belly, low belly, expands, ribs widen, fill. And then open your mouth, exhale, ribs narrow, belly hollow, soft sigh out. And then sealing your lips and breathing in and out through your nose with a sense of ease, an unhurried attitude. Aware of the sensation present within your physical form, your home, your temple, for your spirit, your soul in this life, your body. And notice what's present in the quality of your breath. Its rhythm, its shape, its depth, its tide. Perhaps truly noticing your breath for the first time today. Shining light on your mental, emotional bodies, your mind. Notice the quality of your thoughts and what it took to be here live on the call or watching the recording, the space it required to make all that you're navigating, managing in your life, all of your responsibilities, your duties. It's present in your heart, your emotional body. How do you feel right now? How do you feel? What do you feel? Where do you feel it? Rather than why you feel it, what, how, and where. And know that there's nothing you need to hide. There's no part of you that God, Krishna, Radha, Divinity doesn't accept. And our practice as yogis is to learn to be with the fullness of our experience, the light and the dark. To understand and recognize the presence of duality in our own lives as well as in the universe itself. It's possible to feel more than one thing at the same time. And we're being asked to offer and show up fully in our wholeness, our completeness. Every time we sit to practice and connect with the God of our understanding, every time we show up in our dharma, our work, in every conversation, in every breath, in every meal, in every activity. This is the path of a devotee. So simply take another moment to just honor what is here, what is actually here for you right now, without needing to judge it, change it, fix it, manipulate it, control it, label it. Just be. We'll chant this opening mantra, this invocation, this honoring of all of our teachers, all of the acharyas, the saintly beings who have walked this path before us, bestowing the light of knowledge upon us, removing the darkness of ignorance. We honor all spiritual teachers of all spiritual paths, of all spiritual lineages. Seeing unity and diversity, all are welcome here. Chant together just for a few minutes. engaging in mantra meditation, like Kirtan, group prayer. And likely you all know this mantra, but we'll chant the Maha Mantra, this incredible mantra known as the Great Mantra that has been passed down from teacher to student, from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu over 520 years ago in Bengal, India. And when we chant this mantra, it's not about the sound of your voice. When we chant any mantra, it's not about the sound of your voice. It's about the intention in your heart. It's a sincere and humble calling out for help, calling out for reawakening to divine love, to reawakening to your true nature, that of Satchit Ananda, the eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss being that you are. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You sing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo sing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With all your heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Let's sing together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Really belt it out. Hare Krishna, nothing to hide. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, but rather offer it all. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more together like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's sing this together one more time, offering all that showed up in your embodiment meditation, all that you're holding in your life, all that you're navigating, all the challenge, all the struggle, all the pain, all the grief, as well as all the light, all the celebration, all the success, all the joy. That actually God, Krishna, doesn't just want us to offer our best selves, our brightness, the parts we want everyone to see, but Krishna wants all of us without reservation. This is true surrender. So let's sing together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is how the story goes. Witness how your life unfolds. If you choose to look within, a higher love will guide you home. Search within and you will see you're a drop of divinity. Call and feed that spirit seed. Higher love will guide you home. Simply notice the effect of this transcendental sound vibration, this sonic yoga, this medicine for our hearts and for our minds, that if we willingly choose to take simply by engaging and chanting, hearing, every day we can clean that mirror of our hearts and see who we really are in that reflection in the mirror. Remember who we are and why we're here, and to step into that being. Let's take one giant vibration of Om. If you'd like to draw your palms together to touch, doing so now. Anjali Mudra. It said in this mudra, the right hand represents the higher self, self with a big S. Your spirit soul, who you are beyond your body, your mind, that divine spark. The left hand represents the God of your understanding, and the space between is the ability for reconnection, yoking, to come home. When we chant Om, the sacred sound of oneness that vibrates within all living beings, connecting us all across all the different continents and states and all our different shapes and our bodies and the colors of our skin and our nationality and our religious or spiritual affiliation, our political party, and we meet each other in spiritual equality. Take a deep breath and fill up. Krishna. Okay, as you're ready, making your way back from wherever you may have gone. Oh, it's really moving. Even though I couldn't hear your voices, I could feel you really chanting. All of us chanting together gave me I call it spirit bumps, also known as goosebumps and tears to my eyes. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for chanting together. So, reawakening to divine love. Is anyone interested in doing that? Jack, happy Jack, two hands up. Yeah. Now, I won't give a false statement and say, just listen to this lecture and follow, and all will be solved. All your problems will be solved and divine love will be awakened. Um, and I believe if you listen to those incredibly knowledgeable and gifted and qualified teachers that are sharing in this amazing conference that Jack has put together in an unprecedented way, which is really just incredible. I want to acknowledge you, Jack, for what you've created here for all of us. It's profound. And if you listen and just remember like one thing that each of these speakers shares and reflect on it, and then implement and actually practice something that you hear, your life will change and you will experience tastes of reawakening to divine love. I truly believe that. So, why do we need spiritual healing? You don't actually have to answer that, but even you can think about that. Why do we need spiritual healing? Why are we all joined here together? Why is there a Harvard Divinity School? Right? Why, there's this deep longing that we all feel as spirit souls living a human life. Because as that age-old teaching goes, that we're not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings trying to have a human experience, right? So many of us come to the spiritual path with longing for peace, longing for clarity, longing for connection, longing for love. And we often also carry with us layers of wounding and conditioning, right? And resistance that keeps us from experiencing the fullness that is available to us of divine love. And so I have found that Bhakti Yoga teaches us that love is actually our original nature. I think almost everyone here would probably agree with that. It's not just Bhakti. Most, if not all, spiritual paths teach that in maybe other words. But yet to truly reawaken to that love, we must tend to the places within us that are disconnected, that are burdened, or that are asleep, that we have forgotten are there. So this is a Bhakti Yoga conference, and you're going to hear so many, you've heard already, incredible teachers, and you'll hear more, many more after me, of what Bhakti Yoga is, right? And there's many ways we can define it. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of the heart, right? It's the yoga of love and devotion. Bhakti means to become available for service. It means that you are on a path to reawaken to the true nature of your soul, which is divine love, which is Satchitananda, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and to reconnect to the source of your soul through devotional service, right? So taking, right, service is love in action. Service is love in action. And His Holiness Ramnath Swami Maharaj says that if a spiritual person has love, peace, self-control, and compassion, we can understand that he or she is actually connected properly to his or her roots. I'm going to say that again. He says that if a spiritual person has love, peace, self-control, and compassion, we can understand that he or she is actually connected properly to or her roots. And what I've found in my life is that I want love. I want to embody love. I want to feel love. I want to experience peace. I want to have self-control and be compassionate towards myself and others. And sometimes that comes naturally, and I can do that. And sometimes I really struggle to do it, even though I understand the concepts of it. Why? Because of my own past conditioning, because of stuck energy held in my subtle body, because of that then manifests as limiting beliefs that prevents me from seeing through the lens of love and truth and rather through the lens of fear and ego. So in my work and service in the world, through yoga classes, through retreats, through working with people one-on-one in group containers, and as Happy Jack, so almost embarrassing to hear your bio said aloud in front of people. So as he as he shared, I've seen that true transformation happens when we honor these four pillars of healing. And I'm going to talk about those now. Okay. So the four pillars of spiritual healing that are really a part of my methodology, that let me just say that I didn't make any of these concepts up. I did not reinvent the wheel. I have had amazing teachers in my life. And I've done many different trainings and programs and been here and there and this certification and that certification and that. And through all of the wealth of knowledge I've been given, what I've created is the methodology that worked for me, that I actually practiced and implemented in my own life so that I could advance spiritually and do the necessary healing work within my heart, body, mind, to be qualified to teach this. So I wanted to name that. So I find that these four pillars support our journey back home to ourselves, to God, and to love. So I'll just tell you the four pillars first. The first is spirit. The second is subtle body, which, yeah, I'm just going to say that, subtle body. The third is surrender. And the fourth is sanctity. And I'm going to spend our time explaining those. And you may have noticed they all start with S. S is I love a good alliteration. I love a good alliteration. So the first is spirit, this first pillar of spirit. So I will describe this as nourishing your soul connection. Nourishing your soul connection. Spirit is the foundation of all healing. It is our direct relationship with our spirit soul, who we actually are beyond our temporary identities, meaning I'll speak for myself. I am a woman. I am a redhead. I am a yoga teacher. I am a bhakti yogi. I am a daughter. I am a skier. Da, 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 da. All these things that are not actually who I am because they're temporary and they will go away. I will, right? We can all agree on that. Whether we like it or not is another conversation. We get to that with the third pillar, right? So this is your connection and understanding of who am I actually, and where did I come from, and what is my connection to my maker. So what is my connection to my own soul and to the God of my understanding, right? And as a devotee of Krishna, right, I see that as Radha Krishna, God and Goddess, but not knowing where everybody is on their path here. And I think it's important to name, and also His Holiness Rana Swami, my guru, really caught my attention and hooked my heart the first time I met him, because he said something similar to this, which was, I'm not attached, nor do I care what you call God. There's one God, and God goes by many different names: Buddha, Allah, Jesus, Mother Nature, Radha, Krishna, um, Divinity, Spirit, Universe. What I am here and what I'm interested to speak to you about is your reconnection to that God of your understanding, right? And hearing that, I could listen to him, right? And in time and in years of practice, I surrendered to him, right? Because I realized this is someone who truly practices what he's preaching. He is a living example. He is a closest representative I have experienced um, to a saintly being, and I am willing to receive help from him. So whenever I say God or I say Krishna or whatever word, insert the word that fits for you where you are in your spiritual healing journey at this point. So that is what where it all begins, right? To connect to the source of love and wisdom and strength in your life. And why is it important? Why is it important? Without a connection to spirit, healing remains more surface level, in my experience. The more we nourish our relationship with God and Goddess, the more we anchor into truth and love. And practices like prayer and japa and different forms of meditation, kirtan and scriptural study keeps us spiritually nourished. It keeps us tethered. It keeps us in front of the transcendental sound vibration. It keeps us in contact with a spiritual vibration versus the lower vibration that can often manifest here in the material world, also known as Maya, illusion. So with spirit, we explore, or you explore, what it means to have a spiritual practice, how to create a daily devotional practice, to have a sense of discipline and dedication where you have one-on-one time with the God of your understanding every day, where you orient your day, your schedule, your life around the center rather than trying to be the center. And to create an intimate relationship, because as we were speaking about, or as I spoke about in our opening meditation, the duality of the human experience is I can feel so grateful for my life, and I also can feel really sad at the same time. Right? I'm navigating something in my personal life right now within my family that is really, really, really difficult for me to feel, and it hurts. And yet I'm also planning my wedding. And I'm so grateful for the service I get to do in my life. I literally am living like a vision of my dream life. And I feel sad. So two things are true at the same time. That's duality. In Bhakti, we explore our relationship to God also through this lens of duality. There is me, I am a drop of God, and then there is God. And I don't want to merge back into oneness with God. I don't want to become God. I want to serve God through loving devotion. Right? And so how do we love? How do we fall in love with someone? It takes two. When my fiance and I were first dating, right? It was we had to like spend time together. We had to call each other. We didn't live in the same place. We had to ask each other questions. We had to, in time when we built trust, share our hearts with each other, right? Go on dates. You have to do those things when you're falling in love with someone, right? If you want to fall in love with God, you got to date God. Sit in your meditation practice, share your heart, pray, wait, and listen for a reply. Said that daily time of stillness and silence leads to greater spiritual realizations because you can receive divine downloads. Right? So this is this pillar of spirit. It's in the way that works for you every single day, tending to your connection to your soul and to super soul, God in your heart and the God of your understanding. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question right now that I want you each to jot down your answer to. Okay? A reflection based on this first pillar. How can I cultivate intimacy with the divine in my daily life? How can I cultivate intimacy with the divine in my daily life? The divine, the God of my understanding, goddess, Krishna, Radha, insert your word. How can I cultivate intimacy with the divine in my daily life? I'm going to give you like 30 seconds and I'm just going to sing a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, finish up what you're writing. You get about one mantra to reflect. I'm going to ask you a question after each of these that you also can take more time to then journal on later when you have more space. Yeah. Okay. So also note down any questions about pillar one, because we're going to have 10 minutes at the end for questions. So that means I need to share the rest of what I want to share with you in 10 minutes. Got it, Jack. I got it. Okay. Pillar two. Pillar two. Subtle body. Subtle body. This is addressing energy healing and emotional imprints. So, what it is, the subtle body carries the imprints of our past. This is not the physical body. This goes deeper. This goes deeper than the muscles and the bones and the fascia, even the tissues. Even though that saying goes, the issues are in the tissues. It's a energetic kosha, sheath layer in your body. And I'm a huge proponent of talk therapy. I have an amazing therapist. And no matter how much I talk through, understand, and process with my words and my mind what happened, or the trauma, or the trigger, or whatever it may be, that is necessary. And your body keeps the score. There's a book called Your Body Keeps the Score that I actually, many of you are nodding, you know it. Your subtle body holds on to stuck energy, tension, trauma, whether you've thought through it or not. So this is where subtle body healing comes in. So our emotions, our traumas, and our, as we say in yogic philosophy, our samskaras. Many of you have probably heard that, right? These deep-seated impressions are, if not tended to, if not honored, if not given space to breathe and release, they remain stuck and stagnant, and energy cannot flow freely in our body, and we are bound by our limiting beliefs. So Reiki, breath work, Kirtan, embodiment practices helps us clear stagnation and restore flow. Right? I'm seeing some nods. I'm liking that. So why it's important, right? Blocked energy manifests as fear, anxiety, doubt, resistance to love, right? And by clearing the subtle body, we become more receptive to grace and to healing. And so our chakras, we have 7 chakras in our, let's say, in just our physical realm of our body, right? Which are part of our subtle body, that are each associated with different parts of our brain through our spinal cord, and also different parts of our lives. And there's a shadow side, let's say there's a light side and a shadow side to every chakra. From root to crown, we have fear, guilt, shame, unprocessed grief at the heart, untruthfulness, not able to speak your truth at the throat, delusion, believing that which is not true, and attachment to things that are not actually going to bring you happiness in this life at the crown. So working with the subtle body and understanding the chakra system in those ways, you can help to shift stuck energy in your body and clear it. Right. And so it's working with prana, life force energy. It's working with your nervous system. And that all plays a role, I believe, in then creating more space for a spiritual awakening to happen. Okay. So question for you. Question for you. Where do I feel energetic resistance or tension in my body? And depending on, maybe you don't know, right? So maybe it's also take some space to be with your physical experience. Notice sensation. It may manifest as, wow, I can't, my shoulders and my jaw is so tight, right? Okay, I have tension in my jaw, throat chakra, right? And then you can reach out to me and ask me for guidance, or you can literally Google how to help clear stuck energy in your throat chakra. And this is also what my work does in the world, but you can find a energy healer, a healing practitioner to support you in that. So where do I feel energetic resistance in my body, which may manifest as physical resistance? I'm going to give you one mantra, a faster one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, pens down. Pillar 3. Are you with me, everybody? Still so far? Okay, beautiful. I like to do spirit fingers. I like the hearts too. That's nice. Happy Jack, thank you. Okay, pillar 3, surrender. Big word, big buzzword in the yogic um, community and the spiritual community. So, the way that I am going to speak about surrender is releasing control and opening to grace. Releasing control and opening to grace through honoring grief, loss, and contemplating death. So surrender is like the alchemy of healing. You know, alchemy, which is one of my favorite words, is one of the definition is a magical process of transformation. And it's how a blacksmith, I think it would be called, right? It takes like two basic metals and applies heat, fire, and then it can turn into gold, right? And so that's like literally what the yogic process is, right? And actually just kind of the human experience is if we're going to grow, we're going to get put in the fire. We go through the same things again and again until we learn from them and grow from them. How do we grow? Not by remaining comfortable. We grow by being uncomfortable. And often huge spiritual awakenings happen after a big loss, right? And that was the case for me. So the moment we stop trying to control or fix or force our way through life and instead have trust and faith and endeavor, you know, and put in effort in the ways that are aligned, and then also allow for mercy, allow for grace, allow God to hold us. And I really, really believe that unpacking unprocessed grief, learning to understand grief and talk about grief and how to tend to grief is something that has really been a miss in our society. And I know I was not taught how to grieve. I was taught keep your chin up, time heals all wounds, stay positive. You know, these things that actually in my training as an end of life doula are things that we're taught to never say to a grieving person. I'm like, crap, I've definitely said that before. Or, oh yeah, someone said that to me and it was out of love, out of not knowing what else to say, but it did not help me. Did not help me. Right. So holding on to pain, expectations, or attachments creates more suffering. So when we surrender, when we align with Krishna's divine will, we allow healing to happen effortlessly. So true healing is not about becoming quote unquote better, being fixed, or even being healed. I don't believe that that is possible to be healed because there's always something else that's going to take place that we're going to continue to heal from. We're in a lifelong journey of healing. And so it's about becoming whole again, right? And realizing our innate wholeness and not thinking that we need to be fixed or there's something wrong with us, but rather tending to all parts of ourselves. So in this way, it is looking at what are losses that took place in my life that I did not take time to process. Maybe I dove into the next relationship after leaving that other relationship. Maybe my grandmother passed away when I was young, but my family, then there wasn't a funeral. And, you know, we talked about it once on the couch when I was told that she died. And then we never really talked about it again. I don't know much about her, right? Or when your first pet left their body. I say left their body instead of died. Soul left the body, but death is a word I also will use. And then also contemplating our own death because cat's out of the bag. It's coming for all of us. We cannot outrun it. We cannot outlive it. We can not prevent it from happening. However, we can avoid it. And most of our society does avoid it. So, exploring and contemplating your own mortality is to not be morbid, but to be sobering and to allow it to inform how do I want to live now? because I acknowledge that I'm not going to be here forever. So who do I want to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you to? What needs to be resolved? What needs to be said? What boundaries need to be set? Who do you need to let go in your life? Who do you want to welcome into your life? Who do you want to be in this life? And exploring death can help really to empower us to say, great, I'm going to do that now. Prabhupada, who brought the Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Yoga movement to the West in the 1960s, he would say that you have all the time in the world and not a moment to waste. Because it's true, we have all the time in the world. We have, if not in this life, the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. And once you know that, once you wake up to that, why would you waste a moment? Right. And so I believe, and in my own life experience, um, when my best friend left her body in 2020 and being with her through that experience and being by her side when she left her body, um, it opened up a reservoir of grief within me that I had never felt my whole life, never actually processed a true loss. I just smiled. That time, Kelly's always happy. Nothing's ever wrong with Kelly. Kelly's so nice. Kelly had no boundaries. Kelly was codependent. Kelly never let herself feel sad. Right? So Kelly had some stuff she had to deal with, right? And it was necessary. And it led me to Kishori, who you're looking at right now. Right? It was a necessary part of my experience and the greatest gift, my best friend, the final gift she ever gave me. Right? So this is surrender. I'm just going to name these questions. I'm going to say them out loud and you could jot them down. I'm also happy to send them to Jack after if that's helpful. I don't know if you do that, but what am I still trying to control that I can offer up to the divine? What am I still trying to control that I can offer up to the divine? How do I navigate loss and process grief? Some of us travel a lot more. Some of us watch a lot of Netflix. Some of us date a lot of people. Some of us eat a lot of food. Some of us stay very, very busy, work a little more. It's the age of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? And then lastly, have I contemplated my own death? Have I contemplated my own death? Do I fear it? Do I ignore it? Do I acknowledge it? Okay. Pillar 4. Pillar 4, sanctity. Sanctity. This I will describe as celebrate your sacredness, uh, creating sacredness in every moment. This is where your dharma comes into the equation. What it is, sanctity is about bringing reverence, devotion, and presence into every aspect of your life. It's about how we honor our bodies, our relationships, and our time as sacred offerings versus just things we fill our life with or things we do. It's how we live our dharma. And our dharma is our soul's purpose. And we have our temporary dharma, which is what each of us are individually here to do on the planet in this life, right? We each have our own gifts, our own passions, our own skills, our own talents. And we're meant to engage those as an offering, right? And then we can actually feel contentment, right? When feel like we're doing something that is meaningful, it's helping other people, and we're passionate about it, right? And then we all share the same eternal dharma, right? Which is to reawaken to our connection to our own soul and to God, right? So why is that important? This is important because a spiritual path is not just about moments on the yoga mat or in a conference or in a collegiate setting, academic setting, or in a temple or in India or in a yoga studio. It's about living devotionally. It's about being a living example of your spiritual path in every interaction, right? And whether it's through sacred rituals, mindful eating, honoring your emotions, serving others, you create a life that reflects your devotion, your bhakti. This is available to each of us. And so every moment becomes an opportunity to see and to serve, to see God, to see Krishna and all living beings, and then to serve Krishna through serving all living beings. So my question to you is, how can I bring more sacredness into my daily life? Or another way of saying that is, how can I live my practice? And what is my dharma? What is my soul's purpose? So to close here, right, what I'll say is that I believe and I offer for you to contemplate that if you tend to these four pillars, spirit, your connection to God, subtle body, to do the necessary healing work in all, there's so many different ways to do your own individual mental, emotional, physical, subtle healing work, but to not ignore it, but to face it, to explore, surrender your own relationship to grief and loss and death, and to be clear on your dharma and to make your life an offering, sanctity, that you won't just feel better, but you will transform. And your hearts will soften, your relationships will deepen, your suffering becomes a doorway to grace, and you move from fear to love and from doubt to devotion. And so a reawakening to divine love is not a one-time event. It's a continual unfolding. It's a daily remembrance. And it's available. It's available to all of you. And something, this is my dharma in the world, is to help people do this. So I do have group programs and one-on-one programs and retreats and all of these things that I'd be happy to share more with you at another time. But I'm here to serve you, and thank you for your attention and your presence and for your patience and tolerance for me and for welcoming me into this space, and Jack for your incredible service and for living your dharma and remaining steadfast on it. It's really inspiring and a beautiful thing to get to be a part of and witness. So thank you.
I love it. We're sending all our love, high vibes. Kishori Gopi, the bright light of Vermont. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful presentation. And I was saying before we went live, I feel like it's so relevant because as we were talking about, there's legends who are part of this conference. We got Rukmini Walker live with us now, and many swamis and great scholars. And you're somebody perhaps that can be more relatable. You're kind of at a certain stage of life, as many of our yoga students, many of our teachers here. So thank you for sharing your heart. I love the music, that you really got us a chance to experience it and practice it. And I'm here at the Harvard Business School right now, and I'm in a conference room, and there's a glass wall. So like maybe the next Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates is over there. They're looking at me as I'm like here chanting and singing. But you know what? Hopefully we're sending some of those vibes out to the entrepreneurs, because that's what we need. We need people like you. We need people like who are here today. We don't have time for questions, but that's okay. I'm dropping in the chat right now, Kishori Gopi's, her website, her Instagram, and we're going to connect again. Of course, we are going to connect again, and I hope that we get to stay in touch with everybody. So thank you for being here. Yeah, I'll get you off, get you on mute. Yeah.
I muted myself. Thank you. Thank you for sharing my website there. I'm happy to answer questions if people have them later. I'm also happy to stay a minute longer and answer one question if you'd like. And I also want to respect everyone's time.
I love it. Beautiful. I don't, if anyone has a question, raise your virtual hand. But I do want to be respectful of time, but thank you for being here. Beautiful. I feel inspired. I feel uplifted. And friends, we got another beautiful session tomorrow, basically every day for the month of March. But Kishori, thank you for, at least for me, connecting me to my heart. And I will say as well, like, Thank you for sharing again. Thank you for sharing the music because it just reminds me I'm an amateur musician. I got an acoustic guitar, do a bit of singing.
Me
Um,
too.
and I'm
I'm an
not,
amateur.
I when we go on retreat to India or to Canada, wherever, that's when I pull out my harmonium or guitar or whatever. I love that you just like straight up, we're here in Zoom, let's sing. And so you've inspired me. Look out, Happy Jack Yoga community. It's time to dust off the acoustic and let's sing some mantra. Let's do it daily. Let's not wait for retreat. Let's do it. Let's do it regularly.
Do
So
it
thank you.
daily. It is such medicine. It's such medicine. And we can do it on Zoom. You just have to learn how to put your musician's audio on, and it totally works. So, yeah, thank you for singing with me and for this space. And please, everybody, the last thing I'll say is take some time to actually answer those questions. That this could just be another presentation that you listen to, and oh, those are some interesting things to think about. If you take the time for self-inquiry, it's one of the eight limbs of the Ashtanga yoga system, right? Self-study. And it's an essential part of our spiritual advancement and our healing is to be in community, right? To do the practices and then also to take the time to reflect on them, self-reflection. And that's how we'll actually start to apply them and embody them. So carve out a little time. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you in some of the other sessions. My partner, Shamya Pras, is speaking on Saturday about how to connect to Shastra in the 21st century. So he takes a very different approach to his teaching. He's an intellectual. I'm the heart-based little fairy. So thank you so much. Wow. Hare
Amazing. I
Krishna.
love it. We're sending all the love, high vibes. Thank you so much, Kishori Gopi. Thank you all for being here live with us, my friends. Make it an amazing rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. Hare Krishna.
Oh.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Namaste.
Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna.